Why are you standing here in the cold, my little mage? The moon is beautiful tonight. The moon is one of my symbols. Could it be you're reminded of me when you look up at that pale, celestial orb? It is pretty, especially as it shines down over these empty mountains and valleys, reflecting on the snow and whitening the night. But it's still not enough for you to risk catching a cold. Look at me. Must I content myself with holding you from behind? Draping my arms around your chest, nuzzling my chin on your shoulder. You could feel my breath against the side of your neck. Can't you? Feel my lips tracing gently along your veins. You shivered a little just now. I've known you for a long time, but I still can't tell if it's from the cold or because of me. My little mage. No, I don't have any more tasks for you. Not tonight. I just came to see you. You ran away from the gathering downstairs. I was so bored, having to mingle with all the ambassadors of the dream world by myself. You should have been there, my pet. I know you were raising the dead for your mistress, filling my legions with specters and shadows, forgotten by time, buried by the centuries, arisen again for a moment's thrill of battle. Your power over life and death, it continues to fascinate me. Even after you've served me for nearly a year now. So very devoted. Turn around, my pet. Let me see you. You look so pretty, so naive and innocent, despite the thin lines and dark circles you inflict upon yourself. Your eyes, colder than the snow falling around us in the moonbeams. But I know you still see me the way you did all those months ago. I was your first love, wasn't I? Aren't I still? Why do you flee from my kisses? You're not struggling to get out of my arms, but you won't look me in the eyes. I see. I'm your mistress, and you're my servant. That's what this is to you, isn't it? Then you should obey your mistress. If you won't look into my eyes, then look at my pendant. Pretty, isn't it? The moon is one of my symbols. My little pendant is shaped like a crescent, amethyst, resting on my chest, barely above my cleavage. I'd much rather it was your head resting there instead. Look at the pendant. Melts for me, pet. You still put up such a struggle. I don't know why you refuse to give in, to let yourself surrender to my touch. Would it really be so bad to become mine? I brought you to this world of dreams because you had the gift, but I kept you here because I enjoy you. So many people see me as a cruel goddess, a conqueror with no compassion. But those who've seen the way I look at you, they know. I have a heart somewhere below this pendant you're looking at. And my heart skips a beat every time I walk into this tower to see my darling melt for me. Watch the amethyst as it oscillates so slowly in time with my breaths. That motion is familiar, comforting, is it not? Breathing in and out slowly. My chest rising and falling like ocean waves. Breathe. Breathe in for me. Hold. Breathe out. Let go. Very good. Once more. Just follow the motion of my chest, the ebb and flow of my pendant. Breathe in, pet. Slowly. Now, breathe out and melt for me. There we go. Good job. I want you to look at me with love in your eyes. It all just feels so hollow. Cheap. I want us to be more. I don't want you to feel lost and alienated. You're mine. You belong to me. Every goddess needs a worshiper. Does she not? You're resigned to your fate because you can't leave. But you're still not broken. You're still resisting me. Recoiling as I graze my fingernails against your cheek. Melt for me, but give in. Listen to the sound of my voice. Watch the crescent of glowing amethyst. Watch it. Let the color wash over you. Cover your thoughts under a soft, fuzzy, warm blanket. You don't need thoughts right now. You only need to think of one thing. To melt for me. Melt for me, pet. It feels good to stare at the little moon hovering over my cleavage, doesn't it? It feels good to listen to my voice caressing your mind. My lips playing with your ears. It feels good to obey, to please your goddess. Melt for me. I can still see you're trying to resist, and it's cute, but there's really no point to it. You've been in my care for almost a year now. Have I ever mistreated you? Have I ever let any harm come to you? I care for my pets. It's been so long since I've had someone of my own to look after, to spoil. You trust me to take care of you, don't you? Let go. Give him. Let me hold you. Melt for me, my pet. Melt for me. How lovely. You aren't pulling away anymore as I cup your cheek. And your lips are parted, almost like they're begging to be kissed. Get on your knees. Kneel. Good pet. I like the sight of you. You know? Good pets deserve head scratches. I like playing with your hair, especially since I have such easy access. Your undead are proving quite useful in my southward campaign. I'll soon have almost the entire realm under my control. And much of that is because of you, my darling little mage. When I ascended to the Silver Throne, this world was full of conflict, of opposing forces at odds with each other. So many lesser gods vying, plotting, scheming to take over my throne. Take from me what is mine, and have this world for themselves. They wanted me gone. To them, I was just a young princess, barely a couple millennia old. Their old ragged ambitions would never allow them to accept me. But united against me, their hatred was strong. They were powerful. I needed allies. For a time, I left this world to cross over into your own. I was a princess without an army, pretending to be a human girl, lost and lonely. No, not entirely pretending. I was lost and lonely. And do you know what happened after that? Go on. You may speak, dear. Yes, I met you. I could feel the power radiating from you. It was still dormant and undiscovered, something you couldn't manifest in the physical world. But it was there, and it felt like such a loss to let it go to waste. I became your friend. We became more. We had a bond, and I could feel it, even back then. I didn't even have to put you under. You fell in love at first smile. You told me my smile was beautiful, that you wanted to protect my smile. And I wanted you. I needed to borrow your power. But I also genuinely wanted you. You swore an oath to me on the fog-covered shores of Morvia after I brought you to my world. It's the Lake of Memory. It said every memory your kind has forgotten can be found in its depths. The lake is deep. Every time you gaze at the surface, you can see one of your discarded memories reflected in the water. I don't know what you saw in the water, but you can't break an oath on that lake. Some oaths are binding, and you swore to help me fulfill my dreams. You just didn't know they were dreams of war and conquest, of bloodshed. That oath is why you can't rebel against me. Why the ghosts you raise are loyal to me. It's why you can't ever leave this world to return to your own. Because my pet, I don't just dream of consolidating my rule. I also dreamt of being with you in my tower. I still do. You know? Pick yourself up from the floor, dear. On your feet. Come on. Such an obedient little pet. Melt for me. Your goddess requires your devotion quite deeply tonight. All you do is work here in this corner of the tower, hiding from me. You've been very neglectful of your duties, my pet. I should punish you so you never forget again. But I am a merciful goddess. I'll only subject you to the torture of holding my hand as we walk through these halls. Still lucid enough to question me. You stubborn little thing. But I do adore you so. I'm taking you to my bedchambers, of course. The night is cold and lonely. And so am I. I want your warmth. I have needs too, pet. You shouldn't neglect them. I feed you your favorite meals and dress you up in such pretty clothes. And come to see you every day in this tower so you don't go crazy talking with the undead. Raising me an army is fine and all, but it's the bare minimum. I want to show you off to the ambassadors. You can think of them as my advisors and lieutenants, governing the territories I've annexed. I've found several allies, loyal allies, as time progressed, but you were the first. You're special to me. I can understand your anguish, your sadness, how you must resent me for betraying your trust, keeping you trapped in my tower. But that doesn't change how I feel. If only you'd let go and give yourself to me. We could have so much fun. Make so many memories, such as this. Don't get me wrong, though. I do enjoy watching you struggle so hard to resist. Well, we're here. Let me get the fire started. Now, for the other kind of fire. You can't get away from me, pet. You're too busy melting for me. Poor thing. Unable to get away from my embrace. Forced to stand here so obediently as I wrap my arms around you and brush my nose up against yours. Such a cute, helpless, obedient pet. Just the way you should be. Don't worry. I'll release you from my spell. Eventually. I always do. It's so much fun to break you. Oh, so gently. All over again. Hey. Eyes up here, darling. I know you love staring at them. At my pendant, too. But I want you to look into my eyes right now. Understand? Good, pet. Whenever you see my little amethyst crescent, you're going to start falling into this state. Whenever you hear me say, melt for me, you're going to melt for your goddess. You can try to resist all you like, but it'll always play out the same way. I'll always win. Do you know why that is? Because deep down, you want to lose. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, I find it quite adorable. You have nothing to fear from me. I'm not even going to do anything to you while you're like this. I'd much rather you were intimate with me. Willingly. Now, all I'm going to do is hold you close while you fall asleep. Cuddles are nice, aren't they? Yes. Cuddles are the best. But first, I need you to do one more thing for me. Kiss me. Kiss me like you're in love with me. I want to know what it's like. Make me believe you're in love with me. Kiss me. I really hope someday I won't have to entrance you to do this.